Today we're going to look at using Google Forms to create a breakout activity for students. Typically when you would go in to Google Forms, it would come up and you would go into a blank presentation, and then you would use the methods that I'm going to show you to create your presentation. However, we're going to look at one that's already created. This is one I've done for my art class. When you first start your presentation, you will be asked to do a title. In this case, it's an art movement and popular culture. The first thing that you want to do for a breakout is you want to do it in sections. You, of course, want to know what you're going to put in each section. That's very helpful for designing things. To turn the title and create it into a section, you would go to this add selection, and then that's what creates your sections. Your title, you may need to change it and put it into it and delete the one before it. To delete it, you would go to these buttons here and hit delete section. Alright, I've added a section now that I don't want. I want to show you something here. If you hit delete section at this point, everything below it will be deleted, so all of your work will be messed up. So you want to make sure not to do that if you've already done work that you want to save. You would hit merge above. So now it got rid of that. Alright, for this here, I added this pop art, and I'm just going to write pop art here to make it, give it a little cleaner look. Okay, but to add an image, you go over to the side, go to add image. You can upload it from your computer, use your camera, go by the URL. This is something that's kind of common sense. I use Google image search and just put in pop art and found one that was a cutout from a famous artist to add in here. So now to kind of complete this section, I added a question here. What makes Snap Crackle blank art? Of course, I think that's fairly easy for most people. The answer is pop. But to actually set it up where it's required to move on to the next section, what you do is you, from here, you would add a new section. You would put your question in. Over here, you would want to change it to short answer, required, and then response validation. All right, and then under number, you would go to text, and then you would put your answer in. And right over here, you could put try again, wrong answer. In this case, I'm using the word POW with an exclamation mark because it's actually something that's used in one of the pieces of artwork the students will be using. Okay, this is extra, so I go here and I'm going to delete it. So now you know how to add one in that it creates a scenario where students have to answer it before moving on to the next section. So now we have done we're going to move on to section 2. You would just add the section. In this one, I want the students to watch a video before moving on. To insert a video, you go to add video. Just for note, always click on where you want the video or the picture to go below, because if you don't, it'll go above or go somewhere else that's clicked. Make sure of where you're putting it beforehand. Okay, but here you would go add video, and then you would put in your URL into here, and in this case, I'm just typing this in. It's going to search. Okay, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of things. If you got your exact URL, which I recommend beforehand, you would click on it and then hit select, and it's going to put that in. Of course, I don't want this, so once again, we're going to delete it. So now you know how to put a video in. I added a few more questions that pertain to the video, and each one of them are required before moving on to the next section. Okay, in this section, I wanted the students to read an article and watch a video and answer the questions. All right, I know how to add on a video, which I already showed you, but I also wanted to send them to actually do a puzzle. Doing the puzzle and doing the article was not something I was able to figure out how to do the URL without actually inserting a image. So what I did here is, we're going to save this, is I inserted another famous image. This one is Marilyn Monroe. It's by Andy Warhol. But for this, I'm just going to click on something, and I'm going to insert it. And in order to give the kids links to be able to go to the puzzle and the article, I put it in the image title. And when they open it up on their side, it will have links that they can click on and go to each of those. So now I'm going to delete that. Of course, I added this video as well, which is of Andy Warhol's work at one of the museums. Down here, I did the same thing, but basically each section is linked to the next. To do one, you have to get all the way to the other, and at the very end, students get to watch a video of how to create their own Andy Warhol piece of art, and I asked the students at the end to get their materials out and actually start creating their own works of art. This particular project could be done individually as a student, or can be done as a group. The students could sit and debate the answers. They could watch the videos together. They could talk about it. It kind of depends on the teacher and how they would want to use something like this, but it is a great tool that I will use in the future. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this and have gotten something out of it. Have a great day.